Okay, so welcome back to the third lecture. And in this part, we will discuss the standards of the stairs, ladders, what is a permit, what is a confined space, and what are the guardrail system, and what are the standards for the scaffolding, and what are the basic parts of it. And also, we will discuss in the last the bloodborne pathogens. So let's start. Thank you.
So, Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Today's lecture is about the stairs, the hazard related to the stairs and the ladders. We will discuss the OSHA standards which comply and which apply to your stairs if you are working in industry. You should know what should be the standard according to the OSHA. So, one by one, I will tell you about the standards that are implemented. So, the length of the step and the total area of the step should be of like minimum 10 inches. And if if the length of the stairs is above 4 feet, like if it's under 4 feet, let's suppose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the length is of 4 feet. Here now OSHA tells you that if it's more than 4 feet, then you should add the guardrail system. Okay, the mid rail and the top rail, and we have discussed the guardrail and the standards for the guardrail as well in the previous lectures. Okay, let me erase this first. What should be the angle? Anyone knows what should be the angle? It's in between 35 to 50. Okay. And this is the angle I'm talking about. The angle should be of in between 35 to 50. And after every 12 stairs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, there should be rest area and the total area should be of more than 28 inches. Okay. So these are some OSHA standards that apply to your stairs, and most of the like accidents that happen in the construction site are due to the poor format of the stairs and the ladders. Okay, if we talk about the ladders, first you have to do the physical inspection of the ladder. You have to check physical condition of it, like if it's comply with the OSHA standard or not. What will be there? There should be a rubber band on the lower edge of it. If you talk about the top of it, there are two things. If it's more than 3 feet above the roof from where you have attached, then it's fine. And the second, if it's like equal to the roof area, like if it's there it ends, then there should be some support like this. Okay, that's also okay according to the OSHA. And the angle should be of 75 degree. Sorry, this angle should be of 75 degree. And in other words, we can also describe it as the 1:4. Like for every 4 meters, there should be distance from the wall of 1 meters. Okay, that's the 4 meter of the length of the stairs. Then the distance should be from the wall of uh sorry of 1 meter. Okay, and so if you calculate this angle as well, this angle will be of 75 degree. Okay, is there any question? There are a few more things to discuss in this ladder safety, and that is the physical inspection of it. The trainer should train you according to the how to properly use it, if it's, you should never stand on the top of it, okay? If it's not made for it, because we have some other type of ladders as well. Like there is a platform on the top of it, so you can stand on it if it's made for it. Other thing, if there's a missing balancing rod, you should not use it. If it's just there, then you can use it, okay? Any question? I guess so, no. Okay, I just got one message that says okay. Stairways and the ladders cause many injuries and fatalities among the construction workers. As we have already discussed both, these are some of the key points that we should know. A competent person must inspect use the correct ladder for the job. Don't overreach if you're using a ladder. Use the correct angle and supports. Don't overload. What should be the load? Yes, I didn't discuss that. Let's suppose I'm 80 kgs and I'm having 20 kgs of equipment or something in my hand, or I'm holding that. So that's total of 100 kgs. So the ladder should be of 200 kgs, means like the total weight I'm carrying and I am should be multiplied into 2, and that should be the total weight of the ladder. Never overload, and your employer must train you on the proper use of ladder. Okay, now the confined space. Do anyone of you know what is a confined space? And the uh, three of the definitions that comply with the confined space. Do anyone of you know what is a confined space?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Would you like to answer? You want to define it or not? Or I should explain.
As the tight space.
Okay, that's one of the definition. That's right. That's a tight space. Okay. Anyone else?
It's a confined space is not designed to human occupancy, a limited exit and entry.
Yes. One more thing. A person can bodily enter and can perform task. Confined says,
Excavation.
sorry,
Excavation.
suffocation. Oh, you are saying excavation. Yes, if sometimes excavation is also a part of confined space, but here we are discussing only specific the confined space. What is a confined space? You should remember three things: has a limited means of entry and exit, not designed for continuous human occupancy, and it's confined enough that a person can bodily enter and can perform tasks. These three, if you comply with one area,
Mm.
then you can say that's a confined space. What is confined? What does a confined mean? It's mean limited area. Like the examples can be like one of you person gave me the excavation. If it's more than 5 feet, then can be into a confined space. If there's a limitation of oxygen level, if there is some toxic gases, if it's a person cannot work for there for a long time, that will be a confined space. Here there's a mentioned permit. Can anyone of you tell me what is a permit?
Confined space entry permit.
No, what I know that. What I am asking about, what is a permit? And why do we use that? Some people think just a formality which the industries follow for legal actions to save from themselves from the legal actions. So I just want you to understand what is a real understanding and the real knowledge about the permit. Can anyone of you tell me in the safety point of view?
Confined space enter in permanent. You
Sorry, can
need
you
it.
repeat? Can you repeat, please? Okay, it's okay. I will explain. So the basic.
Confined space
Mhm.
enter permanent. You need it if you enter the permanent.
Yeah, that's right. Your answer is right, but the thing I'm asking is why do we need a permit?
For
Why
your
do, why is
safety.
why is required for safety?
Yes.
Yeah, it is for the safety, but the real concept behind the permit, I will explain, okay? Permit comes from the permission. In permit, we have to identify all the hazards, okay? That can happen while we are working in some area, and that can be confined space. But I will, for now, I will be specific to the confined space as we are discussing this topic. So permit comes from the permission, and in that permit, the client, like if you are in industry, the client will issue the permit. Okay. If like you are in MAPA or you are like in the best way cements, I will assume that we are in right now we are in the best way cements. And the best way will issue a permit. That their administration, their management will issue a permit, and the executor will request few of the parties that I want to work in that location and please consider that. What will do? They will first check what are the hazards in that area. One by one, they will check if there's any lack of oxygen or is there any the limit exceeds, if there are any toxic gases, if there are any uh, poor lighting, if is there any other kind of any hazard of engulfing that a person can be engulfed like from some material or something. So that is basically permission. We try to aware every person who is responsible and who can like who's a functional person, like who can operate that machine as well. Like let's suppose there is a machine and I'm working in that that's a confined space. Okay, if it's a crusher or something, so maybe there is a person who can operate that. That's a CCR person, like the control room person who can operate in the substation from where we do isolation. You may have heard about the Lototo, which we will discuss in later. He can also operate. So we have to identify each of them. So while I'm working in the confined space, please do not operate the machine. And that's the request form. You have to sign, you have to give us the permission, and you should be the responsible person that we are working. Until we are working, you will not operate that specific machine. Okay. So that's basically a permit. That's an administrative control, which also ensures the process safety. Okay. Again, the same definition, which we have already discussed. Yes, confined space entry permit. How many permits do you have in your industry?
There
Four
is a
permits.
three work permits.
3 work permits?
Actually, four,
Four
but
permits.
I forget the four.
4. And what are those permits?
Hot and
Hot
cold confined space.
Hot, cold, confined, and
Confined, and the last one it's AL like this. I forget the name.
okay, is for excavation or something?
for equipment opening line break permit.
Sorry, I didn't get it. Which one?
For permit equipment opening line break permit.
Okay, line break permit. So you are following the Aramco standards for the permits, or you have your own? Anyone? And when you
Again,
issue,
what's the question?
like you are following the Aramco standards for the permits. What standard you are following?
Yes, of course, Aramco for Aramco.
Aramco, okay. And when you issue the permit, how many authorities have to sign that? The shift engineer or the execution party, area operational in charge, who have to sign that permit?
Uh, the issuer, and permit receiver, and the safety.
Oh, the safety is also involved in it. Okay, here we have not involved the safety in it. We have only involved the technical teams, the area operational in charge, the executor, and the shift engineer. But we do like cross-check them again and again. Well, knowledge and the study for the permit is long, and I've just shortened for you so you can understand a little for it. So we can continue our learning. Okay. What can happen in confined space? What are the hazards? Some of these are some potential hazards in the confined space, and those are if the oxygen level is lower than 19.5% or higher than 23.5%. That's the range in which a normal person can breathe for the human beings. Okay, that's the 19.5% to 23.5%. We can understand like if it's lower than that, if it's lower than 19.5%, what will happen?
Not allowed to enter.
No, what will happen to a person? Yes, you are right. That the person we cannot allow them to enter. But what will happen to a person if the oxygen level is lower than 19.5?
Shortage of breath. He
Yeah,
cannot
he will not.
speak. He might
Yes,
lose conscience.
yes, he will not be able to breathe. He will feel suffocation. He will might lose the consciousness, as like you said. And what if it's get higher from 23.5%? He will become a Superman.
Probable for explosion.
Yes, you are right. Here we will discuss two things, okay? One, the high risk is of the explosion. If you are working in confined space and you are working you are having a hot jobs like that can ignite something, and there is some fuel available as well, and the oxygen level is higher. Okay, if there is more oxygen level, we can say that there is a higher chances of explosion, as we discussed before. The triangle of that we need three things for the fire: oxygen, ignition, and fuel. So here the oxygen parts will add it more and it will increase the fire. But there are some more things we have to understand. There will be the person will feel dizziness, the person will may get unconscious in if it's get higher as well. Also, it can also lead to the death. More exposure to the like if he work more than 8,000, that he may also feel like dizziness, he may feel unconscious, he may also get and led to the death. So that's why higher range and the lower range is also hazardous. There can be some combustible material like the meat, like we discussed before, uranium, titanium, potassium, or some gases like methane, hydrogen, acetylene, propane. Gasoline fumes can happen, like if a person is performing a welding job, there can be some toxic fumes. There can be toxic material like carbon monoxide, hydrogen sulfide, which we say H2S gas. Welding fumes, corrosive, electricity hazard can be happen. Mechanical hazard, like if a person get crushed into a crusher machine due to some um, if it's not properly isolated or something, that can happen in a mixer or crusher. Okay. The thing here to understand is we have two types of confined space. One is permit required confined space and one is non-permit required confined space. And why do we have like separated them? The purpose is in a permit required confined space and non-permit required confined space, we have to make a permit. Okay. But in permit required, we have to make a permit, and in non-permit, we do not have to make a permit. So for saving time, and when we make the permit, it's for the critical job. Where a critical job is being performed, there we need a permit. When there is non-critical jobs, we don't need a permit, so we don't have to waste the time. To save time, and for that purpose, we have differentiated the permit required and confined space and non-permit required confined space. In a permit required for the hazardous or potential hazardous confined space, like where there's low level of oxygen possibility, where there are toxic gases, where there is chances that a person gets engulfed, then we say we need to take the permit. But if there is a confined space, like we can say uh, there's a confined space and that completes all the three requirements of, as we discussed in definition, that a person can bodily enter or perform tasks not designed for the continuous human occupancy, and third is has a limited means of entry and exit. If these three definitions apply to that area, but there is no toxic gas available, there is normal range of oxygen level, there is a good ventilation, then we can say that there is no hazard available and we don't need a confined space for that area, a permit. Okay. So that's why we have differentiated them. So We don't have to waste time on issuing permit for that area. Understood? Maybe in some industries they do consider every confined space as a permit required confined space. Mostly that's in the petroleum side. But there are more sites, more industries where are two different permit required and non-permit required confined spaces. In a permit required confined space, you have to isolate the space, ventilate the space, conduct toolbox talk, complete the permit. Like there should not be any missing area in the permit, like when you are filling them. Test the atmosphere. You have must know about the atmospheric conditions. Enter the space, and you have to identify that what are the hazards available in that confined space. Okay, if you have any question, you may ask. If you have any doubts, you should also ask them, okay? Because I don't want any doubt in your mind that can also be a hazard. Yes, like maybe you have heard something wrong from my mouth and you followed and get into some trouble.
Okay, so I have one question. Now I understand that cold permit used for any work without hard machine, and hot permit is used for heavy machine, hard machine. I understand this. But for the confined space permit,
Okay.
can you just explain it from your knowledge, yani, away from what you have shown us?
Okay.
What is exactly used for?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so you have discussed three kinds of permit. One is cold work permit, like when a person is applying paint or something, or he is trying to
Okay.
change the switch or electrical equipment. He use a cold work permit over the LOTO. Okay. The second you have tell me about the hot work permit. Like when this person is working with the welding machine or any machine that ignites, that produces heat, that will be a hot work permit. But when a person is working in such area where there is a possibility that he gets suffocated due to the lack of oxygen, maybe he into some like he faces toxic gases, he breathes toxic gas that can lead to the death. There's possibility that machine engulfs him. That is a possibility. If a machine crushes him, okay, like due to some uh, miscalculation, some if the person didn't know about or didn't have the knowledge that if someone is working inside inside that it's confined space and he starts the machine, that in there those places we can use the confined space permit. Is it clear?
That's kind of good, but
Okay.
do you have? Yeah.
Let me explain it more to you. Let's suppose a person is working inside a confined space and he is performing a hot job, like he's performing a welding. So he only
Okay.
need a confined space permit or he needs both permit, the hot one as well. Should I?
I did not get it. I did
Oh,
not get it.
okay. Let me say it again. If a person is working inside a confined space and he's performing a
Okay.
hot job, how many permits he will require here?
I'm not sure, but let me say two.
Yeah, both of the permits he will use. He will use the permit for the hot job as well and for the confined space as well, because both of things oppose their own risk, their own hazards. Okay.
Okay. So basically means confined space. It means for non-hazard or for also as you mentioned here, it's for any kind of hazard or non-hazard. You need the confined space permit.
No, you don't understand get it, my point. Let me explain again. I just don't want you to be in doubts. We have two kinds of areas, two kinds of confined space. I'm not talking about the permit. Okay.
Okay.
There are two kind of confined spaces in which where we required a permit. That's the one kind, and there is another kind of confined space where we don't need a permit. Understood? Let's suppose there is a
Okay.
confined space which requires a permit. And why it requires a permit? Because there are some hazardous gases, can be a lack of oxygen, there can be some machine who can engulf the person or who can hurt the person, or there's poor lighting, then we can say that this confined space requires a confined space permit. Understood? Now we have
Okay.
a second option, a non-permit required confined space. That confined space that does not have any lack of oxygen or poor or high oxygen levels, there's no toxic gases in that, there's a proper lighting in that, there's a proper ventilation in that, like there is no hazard opposes in that confined space, but it's still confines because it refers to that definition, it complies with this definition, these 3 points. Understood?
Mm.
That will be
Okay.
considered in the confined space, but you will not require a permit for that place.
Now it's clear. Thank you, man.
Welcome. Okay. Now this is the scaffolds. I think I just learned in the previous class from like they were Saudi students, and I asked them what is called in Arabic. They told me that it's called sakalen something. Sakalen?
Sigala.
Sigara, okay.
Not cigara, sigala.
Sikala.
With L. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, Sikala. Yeah, I was trying to remember the word that they used for the Arabic term. Um, okay. So what is sakalen? Sorry, what is Sikala? That's the scaffolds. Why we use them? This is a temporary structure used for working in an elevated area or in the heights for the building operations, where you need to work on height and you require your manpower and the equipment or the material to be lifted, and so the person can perform tasks. Okay, a temporary structure from which a person can gain access to a place in order to carry out the building operations. That will be the definition for the scaffolds. We have different types of it, like the tubular steel, the tubular aluminum alloy, and the timber. The timber is refers to the made of wood. You may have seen the bamboos and the wood. That's also type of scaffolding. There are some few basic parts. We don't discuss this in deep, but I will try to explain as much I have the knowledge. We have the planks used for the stability and the to align it. Okay, these are the planks. We have the base plates. Okay, there's a such structure in the base plate that is attached to the plank, and the rod comes over it. Okay, the rod comes over it like this. Then we have the standards. These rods are known as the standards. We have the ledger. Okay, we have the double couplers to tie the scaffolds from each other. We have the couplers. Okay, they have nut bolts. We have to tie them in. You may have seen them in the. If I try to show you in the picture, here this is the joint. This joint is known as the couplers. We have different types of coupler as well, but this study is not specific to the scaffolding. We will just discuss the general things. Okay, we have the bracings. Okay, and the distance of the bracing depends on the length of the scaffold. If it's 10 feet, the distance should be from the surface to should be 1.5 meters. But there are some other things to understand the type and the level of the scaffold. We have the uh, heavy duty, you have the medium, you have uh, the less, we say. Sorry, I just forgot the what we term we used for.
Ledger of the transom of the
Mm, I just forgot them. Inshallah, I will tell you in the next class. Okay. Um. Okay. So other things, the mid rail, the top rail. Sorry. And the transfers, which takes the load from to the center, from one side to center, and from the other side to the center, so that they do not move. And what else we have here? Yeah, the toe board. That's the toe board, so that material do not fall. And we have the sole board. That's the few parts of the your Sakala. Lightweight, yeah, the lightweight, the medium, and the heavy. Okay, it depends on the wider it will be, the less weight it can carry. The narrow it will be, it can carry more weight. Okay, distance matters in it. The ratio, there's a ratio for it as well. What are the hazards? Fall from elevation. You can fall, or something can fall on you from the elevated area. Both are the hazards. Okay, electrocution if there's any overhead power lines, as they are made of mostly of the tubular steel or aluminum alloy, there's a possibility that can be they can pass the electric current. The scaffold can completely collapse if it's not properly uh, tightened or it's not properly like erected. That can collapse. So that's why we have some tags for it. How many tags do you have? 3 tags or 2 tags? Green, yellow, red, or green or red only? Can anyone tell me how many tag system you have? Okay, 3. The green, yellow, and red. Oh, in my industry, we only have the 2 tags. One is for the red while we are doing the erection. The green tag, when you have passed the erection phase, then you remove the red tag and again install the the green tag. And after the shift, when the shift completes, you have to remove the green tag again. You have to do the inspection and install the red tag while making the inspection. For the next shift, after the inspection, you can remove the red tag and again install the green tag. Green tag refers to that that's a green signal that you can work in that scaffold and it's safe for use. And the red tag refers to that it's not safe for use, do not work on this scaffold. If a worker on a scaffold can fall from more than 10 feet, like if the height of the scaffold is more than 10 feet, then protect them by guardrails and or means if both are possible or if one is possible, both are fine. Protect them by guardrail system and the personal fall arrest system. I have discussed, I think, before that what is personal fall arrest system, the self-detectable lifeline, and the guardrails we have also already discussed in the previous lecture. Always wear hard hats, barricade the area below the scaffold. So if anything falls from the scaffolding, like, and if someone is standing behind, like on that area, that can save, you should barricade the area so that they have the knowledge that say they are working on the scaffold. Anything can fall from the height and I should save myself. Competent staff is required. Incompetency is also a hazard. Incompetency of staff. And the TBT, the toolbox talk, should be delivered. I hope you have the idea about the TBT because it's a very common thing. I think, and I don't need to explain it, or I should. Okay. So machine guarding, any part function or process which may cause injury or can lead to severe injuries or can drag you towards it themselves, like your cloth, your fingers, your hand, your hairs, into a dangerous positions, that will be that should area that should part of that function should be safeguarded. What is a safeguard? In simple, you may have seen a pedestrian fan that is guarded inside a guard. Okay, I'm talking about a pedestrian fan. That's a fan. Okay, and that is guarded inside a guard. You may have seen a grill on it. Or the chain cover also for bikes, motorbike, the chain cover. That is also an example of the guard. Why we have this guard or a fan so that no one put their hand in that, okay, into dangerous position, because the fan can easily cut that person hand or something. Now this area, this is a conveyor belt. This area is very dangerous for some, like if person try to touch that area, or if like the cloth or any part of the body gets entangled with that, that can come into a dangerous position. And safety for the like for the conveyor belts is itself uh, a long lecture. So I think I should have one video for that too as well. Where the operator of the machine can injure the operator or other workers, the hazard must be controlled or eliminated. Crushed hands and arms, severe fingers, blindness, the list of possible injuries can occur. Safeguards are essential for protecting workers for needless and preventable injuries. These are some parts in industry that should be safeguarded. That is the rotating part. You may have seen such parts in nip points between two running parts. If someone hold their hand or finger in this area, they will be brutally injured. Reciprocating parts, such parts in which one part is steady and the second is moving, and you get in like entangled into such area, so that can be hazardous. You can get injured yourself. Continuous motion like the conveyor belts, that's also a transverse motion. That part should be also be safeguarded. We have different types of guards as well. Some guards are fixed guard. The most like effective guards are the fixed guards, because there's less chances of like human error. These are the part of that equipment or machine. You can only remove them when you have to like completely stop the machine. No one gets injured due to these guards, as they are the part of that machine. Interlock guards, these are such guards. If you try to remove the guard, the machine will stop itself. Like the new juicer machines, you may have seen that dysfunction in that juicer machines. If you try to remove the upper part of it, the machines get stopped. Even if the switch is on, even if the button is on, they will stop because of the interlock guard. Adjustable guard or self-adjusting guard, such guards which can be adjusted as per requirement. Like if this is a bandsaw, I'm trying to cut a small piece, which is possible to cut in such area. Okay, this is the blade. What if I have a big plank, big something to cut? I will rotate this part, loosen, move it upward, lift it, and then this blade will be long enough so that I can cut such part. Okay, a big thing. Now there are the chances of human error. If I forgot to place the guard again back to the position, here what will happen? I may lose my control. I may forgot to place the guard again on this position, and it can put me into a dangerous position. Okay, such guards are not preferable over the fixed guard. There are some requirements for the guards as well. Guards must prevent entry of body parts into dangerous position. Guards should not create a new hazard. All guards must be securely attached and durable. Employers must provide training on the proper use of guards. Any question till there? Okay. So bloodborne pathogens. OSHA estimates about 5.6 million. That's old study. Maybe the number is variable, or maybe it get a lot higher from this number. Workers in healthcare and other facilities are at risk or exposure to bloodborne pathogens such as human immunodeficiency. You may have heard about the AIDS and the hepatitis B, the HPV virus. To provide safe working conditions, the purpose is to provide the safe conditions and that protect employees from being unnecessarily exposed to health hazards. I have told you before, the safety which we do in our occupation, that's the occupational health and safety. And OSHA requires that the employee or the worker should not be exposed to unnecessary hazards, such as one of the hazards we have discussed, like the AIDS and the hepatitis B and hepatitis C. These are the bloodborne pathogens. And why we do consider them and why we do discuss them? Because they are transferred from one person to another through body fluids and in very fastly. Okay, one single person can infect a complete society. So that's why we do discuss them. The HBV virus, the hepatitis means inflammation of the liver. Hepatitis B virus is major infectious bloodborne hazard you face on the job. You may have noticed that before joining any new company, you get first they check your all these things, the AIDS and the HBV and the HBC and everything. The main reason is what? So they don't get exposed to such unnecessary hazards, and they don't want to disturb their environment by adding such person who is already suffering from some of the disease which we have discussed. So that's the main reason. And also, single person can affect the whole society, maybe the whole industry get infected just because of one person. The HIV virus. Wait, HBV virus, what it does, it inflammates your liver, and as we know, the liver is the place where the blood gets proper nutrition, the blood gets the vitamins, and it's the storehouse for the vitamin, and it's the main organ in our body. When it gets infected, our body gets inflamed and pale yellow in color, and that's what happened in the hepatitis B. In the HIV, the human immunodeficiency virus, if it's in initial stages, it's the name of virus is HIV. Okay, if it's in initial stages, you will feel like severe headaches in your first week, 6 weeks. Then it will lead to warts on your mouth, around your mouth, and in the armpits and the private parts as well. In the later conditions, as it is like how it works, it will affect your defense system, the T cells and the white blood cells in your body, and the army of your body gets infected in such a way that it cannot save you from any bacteria or virus, any other. Like if like right now, maybe we have millions of other bacteria as well, but due to like thanks to Allah, we have the defense system that is fighting against those bacteria and the viruses, so we don't feel anything. But as the army get infected, the T cells, the white blood cells get infected, what happens? Any bacteria that's around our body or inside our body, that will easily affect, and we will face every such disease which is inside our body, and that can like we are the host for it. Okay, where he can easily live and they can easily like uh, divide. The most people who are exposed to these bloodborne pathogens are the nurses, physicians, dentists, and till the CPR providers. You will notice one thing: those who have their duties and their job specific to the blood and the fluids of body, like the laundry handlers, those who washes clothes, the laundry handlers, or the nurses, or the doctors, or the surgeons, they are more exposed to these because these diseases are spread from one person to other through your saliva, through the sweat, through the eye fluid, through applying cosmetic, through the blood. So that's why we do consider these things as well. If you have a sexual contact with the infected partner, you can get infected. If you have shared a needle with a person, you were infected and you have shared the needles that what the doctor did like he was using one needle to another, they can transfer from one person to another. Cutting yourself with infected object, like there was some sort of machine and the person using it was infected already, and he injured himself. There was no safeguard available on it, and he injured himself. He left the job. Yes, like a few days after I joined this job. Sorry. uh, or another person joined that job, and he also infected the same from the same machine that was, and there was some blood available and the bacteria is available of the previous person, and now he will also infect himself. Getting infected blood into open sores like your mouth, nose, eyes, ears, okay, there you can infect yourself. A person infected with the HIV may carry a virus without developing symptoms. Like you may have not developed some such symptoms. Maybe your uh, like the defense system is strong for in the initial phase. Maybe you do not uh, develop any symptom, but still you are spreading that uh, bloodborne pathogen from one person to another, and may develop AIDS-related illness, including the neurological problems, the cancer, and other opportunity infections. The HIV virus can lead to severe infections and also to the death. Engineering control, if there's some guard missing or you have to barricade some area, you should apply the engineering control. Employee work practices, you have to develop the safe system of work. PPE should be provided. Housekeeping should be maintained, and hepatitis B vaccines should be provided. But why they didn't have mentioned the hepatitis, like the HIV vaccines? Because it's not possible. One thing, it alters its RNA, and the second thing is it affects your immune system. It's like if when on the one hand you are killing the army and the second and you are adding more, that's not possible. So that's why there is no vaccine, or maybe there's some other reasons for that, but that's what I've learned from the Google, that there's not possible for the HIV vaccine. Always be prepared and wear gloves when you are at risk. Be alert from the sharp objects. Never lift any object that is sharp that can hurt your fingers from bare hands. Do not pick up glass with the bare hands. Place sharp objects in the approved containers. Common sense rules. Be sure wash hands and remove protecting clothing before eating, drinking, smoking, applying cosmetics, and while handling handling contacts. It outlines how an employer will protect worker from occupational exposure to bloodborne pathogens and other potential infectious materials, or PIM. Identify jobs and tasks where exposure to bloods or OPM may occur. You have to identify that area. Define procedures and controls to reduce such uh, hazard or opportunity infections and eliminate the exposure. Ensure compliance with OSHA, BBP, standard bloodborne pathogens, in short, BBP. Provide a clear strategy for response and training. I think that's enough for today. If you have any question, you may ask. If you still have any doubts, I'm here to clear them, okay? These are very critical things to understand. If you have any doubts, you may ask me. I will explain it to you. Okay, so I just got thank you.
So just quick question. Do we have lecture tomorrow or is it every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday?
What's the day today? It's Thursday.
Tomorrow is Friday, so
I think there will be no class tomorrow because they told me before. But if you
Mhm.
give
so
me
next.
if you give me 10 minutes, I can complete the lecture. There's no such. There's just
Okay,
two like left, two topics.
okay, no problem.
Okay, I will just
No,
complete them. Okay.
we can do it later on. Because we need to learn this. We don't need to go very fast on this.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's fine. We just
Okay.
ask
Okay.
you.
That's very
So
positive response from you. Thank you so much. I think you are learning and uh you're learning, so you are feeling good for that. Is that right?
we
Yes.
all and we all thank you for. So inshallah, Sunday is good for us. I don't know if anyone has any comment. If Sunday is not good.
I will talk to the management and we will like to consider a good day for you and for me as well. Okay.
Okay. Okay. How
Okay.
many lecture left?
Okay. Thank you so much for all of you joining. I hope you're learning something. If you have any feedback for me, you can. So no feedback.
All good, mate.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining. Take care. Fima Allah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jazakallah.
Fima.
One second.